Finished watching debate between Bill Deblasio and Sean Hannity. It was a debate, and it should be more fair. Sean Hannity is just such a stuck-up, pretentious piece of shit. Right? He sits there and says, "Hey, buddy, come on in here," and then he's like yelling about the issues. So he's being combative and then chummy and then combative and then chummy. Bill Deblasio, it was actually, I thought it was wonderful. I watched the whole thing, so it was surreal in the sense that the left and the right are talking about different things, but I thought it was just a good conversation. So I separated between Sean Hannity, what we learned about Sean, and what we learned about Bill Deblasio. So first, Sean Hannity. He needs to get his ratings, so he's going to spend money in order to get the Democrats to come on the show. This is to help, the whole thing that Trump and Fox News is spreading hate-filled rhetoric, and they're instigating all these, crazed people to essentially take the law in their own hands and then accomplish their political ends. So, Sean Hannity is going to cover his ass by getting Bill Deblasio on his show. Now, Bill Deblasio is a badass. He's the New York mayor, and if you ever seen the police union chief, or whoever that fucker is, who defends Daniel Pantaleo's murder of Eric Garner for no apparent reason whatsoever, he is such an aggressive piece of shit, total right-wing authoritarian fascist. He's been stopping Bill Deblasio from actually getting community-based police and actually getting changes in the police department so the community and the police can rebuild trust. Bill Deblasio, he's also going to be the one that started the normalization of criticizing the police. And then, speaking Spanish was normalized too in those debates. So Sean Hannity, he loves God. He believes in the constitutional republic. He reveres the rule of law. Now, he wants a wall to stop the drugs and the cartels, but he wants a big welcome sign that says, "Welcome to our family." So he wants immigrants to come in, and they want, welcome to our family, welcome to our American family. So Sean Hannity said he's going to be there at the border, and he's just going to give these big hugs to the immigrants who come in legally. Hannity defended guns. I thought very good. I'm pro-Second Amendment, so a pro-Second Amendment Democrat. So Hannity pointed out the problems with a lot of the Democrats and their gun control arguments. Joe Biden says, "Yeah, we're coming for your guns," right? Bill de Blasio can't even say whether or not you could keep, if you're a lawful citizen, if you could keep a firearm in your house in order to keep yourself safe. So you can't even defend yourself. Sweden passes guns out to the entire nation, so that way, everybody's ready. Everybody's armed and ready in case the Nazis come back. So I'm not for gun control, and he pressed hard on Bill Deblasio. I've heard Eric Swalwell had made the case that you could keep your rifles, keep your shotguns, and keep your pistols, but all the other weapons of war is going to be taken away. Bill Deblasio has no such distinction. Bill Deblasio is going to obliterate the Second Amendment. He needs to have a more rounded, opinion about the Second Amendment. He has not been, so Sean Hannity was, essentially explained himself very good, right? He's lawful. He's always doing the right thing, and his mother was a prison guard. De Blasio said, "God bless her." Well, that's, now I understand Sean Hannity. His mother was a prison guard, so even his mother was a right-wing fascist. He didn't have, a choice. Sean Hannity is opposed to the minimum wage. He said he washed dishes when he was 12 years old. He keeps on talking about as if he cares about the people, he cares about the kids. There's kids that want to get jobs when they're young. We're hurting those, kids from getting these low-wage jobs. He's against the minimum wage. De Blasio said he was for a $15 minimum wage. And then Sean Hannity said that all his family was New York cops, right? So his mother is a prison guard, probably watching, prisoners get raped over and over again. His entire family's New York cops. So he's just a right-wing fascist authoritarian, probably, takes all the opinion from the damn police union as if like he's, speaking gospel. So when Hannity was defending guns, very good, he was very good defense. Bill de Blasio did not answer the question. And so it sounds like, no, you cannot have any gun no matter what, no matter who you are, except for the police, except for bodyguards, and if you may, write up some sort of exception for self-defense reasons. So the few people who apply for self-defense reasons and bodyguards and cops. That's the only people in New York City that can have a gun. No American. So essentially the Second Amendment is dead and gone in New York City. So Hannity admits that crime in New York City has gone down. So Sean Hannity was like, yes, you're right. Crime has gone down. The murder rate has gone down for New York City, which is great for Bill de Blasio. If crime is going down, then that means Bill de Blasio is doing his job. Hannity says that he had to go through background checks in order to get his gun. So he says there's already laws on the books for background checks. And then he's yelling, saying by the time you call the cops, if you live, 20 minutes, or even a good response time, you could be dead. So this gives, all Americans the right to defend themselves. I believe in freedom, self-defense, and then there's a million fucking progressive problems that we need to address the root of the problem, not just the superficial, wounds. It's America. So if this is white America and it's for white people, how come these white men are just losing their shit? And it's usually what? Powerless? So it's not, the people that are doing well, they're not well off, they're not powerful, they're not doing a whole bunch with themselves. So why are they, this America, the land of, freedom and plenty, how come they have a problem? They have an issue. This country is for them. How come nobody told them, hey, this country's for you? Did they not know? Because when they do the when they do the shootings, they're suicidal. They don't give a fuck about their life. So when they do that, they're at wit's end, and suicidal people always see that as an option. They see no hope at the end of the tunnel. There's no light at the end of the tunnel. And so this is the direction that they go. So if they're law-abiding, can New Yorkers have a gun? De Blasio refused to answer the question. He deflected Hannity, pretty decently, because Hannity does try to corner you. But answering yes or no questions, when you don't answer yes or no, it does look pretty clear you didn't answer yes or no. So you're trying to obfuscate it a little bit. Just straight answer, yes or no. What, answer the damn question. And he didn't answer it, saying that he wanted to define himself. He didn't want Hannity to define him. He wanted the chance to define himself. So, yeah, de Blasio refused to answer the question. He did later on say something that essentially made me think, okay, he's not for any New Yorkers having guns. So it's probably no, because he didn't answer the question. Now, Hannity believes in God with all of his heart. I think that was the funniest part. Now, Sean Hannity, let's see, he asked, Bill de Blasio asked Sean Hannity, so you don't think there's global warming? And Sean Hannity waffled on this. And then he's going to change, and say, hey, at first he offered Bill de Blasio to come on his show and then interview him. So that way, they can, I think that would be fun. I mean, I think an interview is a conversation anyway. So whenever they say, I'm the one I'm the one asking the questions, you're not a fucking prosecutor, you piece of shit. This is an interview. This is a conversation. So let's talk about the issues, and if I ask you a question, I'm better to understand your perspective. And he gets, he turns into a pretentious dick, Sean Hannity does, when Bill de Blasio asked him, do you believe in global warming? He didn't have an answer. He didn't have an answer. He did say, I'm saying that I want to do the opposite. So he's saying, no, I'm not, pretending global warming doesn't exist. I want to do good things for the earth. He says oil and gas and coal is the lifeblood of the economy, but in 10 years, a new Green Deal is going to phase it out. And he asked Bill de Blasio if he believed that in 10 years you should phase all that out. De Blasio didn't answer. He did ask, do you believe in global warming? Hannity didn't answer. He's going to be a pretentious fuck. He's like, whose name is on the show? He asked Bill de Blasio if he wanted to interview him during the show earlier on, and then he goes on and said, it's my show. I ask the questions around here. So both should be asking questions. Both should be talking. Just to have one side monopolize, I get to ask the damn questions. You're not a fucking prosecutor. This is an interview. This is a conversation. And if I don't like this conversation, then I'm bolting. I'm getting the fuck out of here. But the whole point of conversation is to better understand each other, not use each other for props to gain ratings. It's also hierarchical. Only I get to ask questions. But only you get to ask. Can I have a clarification question? No. Sean Hannity also mentioned that he does mixed martial arts for 90 minutes. Sean Hannity also likes cauliflower pizza, which is disgusting. What a sick fuck. Sean Hannity likes cauliflower pizza. That's probably the biggest thing that I, objected to the most, the cauliflower pizza. Where the fuck's he from? That's not like Iowa or New York. Cauliflower pizza? Is cauliflower even good? Is there any flavor to cauliflower? Talk about people bitching about pineapple. Who the fuck says, you know what, this pizza needs some motherfucking cauliflower? So I like Hannity's defense of the Second Amendment. He's absolutely right. Deblasio goes too far. He's going to obliterate the Second Amendment. So Deblasio should have a more nuanced perspective. You know, let New Yorkers keep their pistols, shotguns, and rifles, so that way overturn the Second Amendment. That's illegal. So that's Deblasio's opinion, so I don't know if that's the law of New York City, but he is 100% opposed to the Second Amendment. If a person said, you know what, the only thing I give a shit about is the Second Amendment, and that would be enough of a reason not to vote for Bill de Blasio, because he is not just coming for the weapons of war, but he's coming for all your guns. He's coming for all of them. Okay, so now we're on Bill de Blasio. Bill de Blasio, this is a powerful presence on the stage. He's the fucking mayor of New York City. He's very powerful right now. He's, spending the budget in New York. He's got the money. He's got the power. He looked weak against Biden, but when he's on the debate stage, he looks powerful and confident. Bill de Blasio, I got so much fucking respect. I don't know, some reason it's like if you're a New Yorker, you're just supposed to hate Bill de Blasio just because he's in a position of power. But it's probably because that damn New York police union just keep on shitting on him because he wants justice for Eric Gardner, and they don't give a damn, if they're good people or not. So there was a part where Sean Hannity basically set Bill de Blasio up, and it was probably because one of his friends were, assaulted in one of the videos that had happened. Now, he was sitting there saying he had videotape and all the assaults, are you going to convict all the assaults? But he was just saying about the citizens. What about all the assaults that the police officers do upon the people? What about the excessive force and the, wrongful, unlawful arresting and false imprisonments for the police? So if anybody who breaks the law is going to pay. That's Bill de Blasio's position. So he answered the question, but what Hannity was trying to do was essentially say, look at these specific videos right here, and Bill de Blasio, I don't even know if he was looking at the videos, but it was playing as Hannity was talking, and he was sitting there saying that all these videos, all these people who got assaulted, you're going to prosecute them, right? And Bill de Blasio just deferred to the New York City Police Department, saying, you know what, you're trying to say that the New York Police Department won't do their job. Of course they're going to do their job. So he kind of turned it around on Hannity, and then Hannity was kind of like, to the police department, I just want to make sure that, everybody knows that I'm on your side, okay? I swear I'm on your side. On the wall, Bill de Blasio says he is in favor of border security, not to a wall. And so, in general, so he's for border security, not really for a wall. He was asked if he would take the wall down everywhere. I don't think he would do that. So he says, essentially, there's 11 million people that's in this country, so we need comprehensive immigration reform. And he asked Sean Hannity if we should do comprehensive immigration reform, and Sean said, no, build the wall first. And then he would be okay with some, comprehensive immigration reform. No, we got 11 million people here now. So building the wall, it's comprehensive, so you could handle the border issues and handle the undocumented who are here now. For Bill de Blasio, he says that he's going to work with the police, and those undocumented who commit crimes, they get deported. And then you preface things all the time. That's true. Hannity does, instead of just answering yes or no, he'll preface it, and then he doesn't answer. Global warming. Does Sean Hannity think global warming is a myth? That could very well be, because he wasn't a good, hard, strong answer. It seems like an answer he could obfuscate later on. But when it comes to, does he believe in global warming? He says we should be a good steward of the environment, but he didn't say whether or not he specifically thought global warming was an actual thing. So I would press harder on Sean Hannity, and he was like, oh, it wasn't that bad. No, it was pretty shitty, Hannity. Hannity thinks that only his fucking opinion matters, and so only a powerful person like Bill de Blasio could actually go against Hannity, I guess, tit for tat. Bill de Blasio held his own. Bill de Blasio looked good, looked strong. There was times Hannity kind of was getting belligerent. There was times when he was trying to, say, look at these assaults on these videos. So he's trying, I think it felt like he was trying to trap him or whatever, trying to say, my friend is this person in the red shirt right here, and they got arrested. So will you, right now, as the mayor, tell me that you're going to let that person, get off the hook? Sean Hannity says, why do the 1% have money? Because he was sitting there saying that Fox News tries to obfuscate that the 1% are robbing the working class blind. And Bill de Blasio said the reason why the 1% have all the money is because the government helped take it from the working class and gave it to the 1%. So the 1% and the government are on the same side. The 1% in the government, the 1% use the government to rob the working class. That's Bill de Blasio. So Bill de Blasio is for no personal gun ownership. This obliterates the Second Amendment. When they asked him whether or not they should have personal, New Yorkers, should they have personal guns, he said they have a right to be safe. And he says, ask law enforcement if they want everybody to have a gun. De Blasio says he's, listening to the police. He's listening to the police too much. De Blasio has too much respect for the police. So he's, says that the New York Police Department, they say that the guns should be off the street. They're in favor of gun control. Mayor Bill de Blasio wants to get off of fossil fuels. Mayor Bill de Blasio is not for the impeachment of the war criminal currently on the imperial throne, Konyea. He said that 99% should get their fair share, tax the hell out of the rich. That's Bill de Blasio's opinion. Then Sean Hannity, of course, rushes to defend the 1%. Bill de Blasio says the New York Police Department knew how to do their job. And Sean Hannity didn't want to admit that because Sean Hannity was, trying to get Bill de Blasio to say that he was going to prosecute every videotape of any assault that was in New York City. Sean Hannity said that the murder rate was lower in the last 3 years, so he admitted that crime and the murder rate is going down in New York City. Bill de Blasio said it's actually been 6 years in a row. Crime has gone down. They got new community policing tactics, and also Bill de Blasio has added 2,000 more police officers to New York City. Mayor Bill de Blasio wouldn't even consider New York City citizens having any guns whatsoever. He also obfuscated the abortion question. Does Mayor Bill de Blasio believe in any restrictions on abortion? Bill de Blasio is pro-choice. He says it's a sacred choice for women. And he asked him, can a woman in the 9th month get an abortion? Can a woman in the 8th month get an abortion? Mayor Bill de Blasio wouldn't answer. So from 0 to 9, those late-term partial birth abortions, you waited to 9 months to get it taken care of, that's murder. So there needs to be the Roe versus Wade, they break it up into 3 trimesters. The first trimester you can have an abortion. The last trimester you cannot have an abortion. Well, the only thing that needs to be decided is between 3 months and 6 months in the second trimester. And the Roe v. Wade left that up to the states in between the second trimester. So if there's any room to go one way or another, it would just be within that second trimester. So the fact that Bill de Blasio, he's wrong when it comes to gun control. He's an extremist on gun control, and he's an extremist on abortion. Up until 9 months, what about 1 year, 5 years? What if they turn 50? No, they're a baby when they can survive on their own, so therefore that's, somewhere around 20 weeks, 5 months or some shit. But you waited to 9 months? No, absolutely not. I'm 100% against that. So Sean Hannity hit Bill de Blasio, pretty good on that because there does need to be a limit. Jesus Christ, he's, going to obliterate the Second Amendment. He's going to give abortions to everybody. So while I like a lot of things that Bill de Blasio has done, there's, he's not liberal enough on some issues. But here he's like, this is off the charts. He's not even reasonable. On the Green New Deal, Sean Hannity wouldn't go through the entire list of universal basic income and the federal jobs program. The only thing he wanted to point out was Bill de Blasio said something about tax and glass and steel. He wants skyscrapers built in New York City. This is Bill de Blasio says he wants skyscrapers built in New York City. And then Sean Hannity says, well, will you write that down for me? He wanted clean buildings. This is Mayor Bill de Blasio. He wanted retrofitted clean buildings because in order to combat, having a clean economy, he wants green buildings, not dirty buildings. So if you're going to build a brand new building, a brand new skyscraper in New York City, then you're going to have a nice, clean, green, retrofitted building. And he says that they'll save money on energy. So he's saying that needs retrofitting. And then Sean Hannity says, you act like they just have, unlimited amounts of money. And he says, well, there's only 12 years left. We have to do something with this global, climate change, global warming bullshit. 12 years left. And Sean Hannity was like, fuck it. You just want to have a party? We only got 12 years left, let's just party. But Bill de Blasio said, no, let's get to work. We need to get to work, and, we need to do something better about it. So Sean Hannity believes we should be good stewards of the environment, but he doesn't want to care about the environment in order to, stop the whole planet for the last 4 years. Andrew Yang says that the Earth has had the highest temperatures in the entire history for the last 4 years. Some silly things, but this actually might be the only thing that Sean Hannity actually made a dent on. He says, can we put the salt back on the tables? I guess there's some laws about not having salt shakers on the table because people could use too much salt. So since we can't trust people to put, salt their own stuff, then you're just going to, have it regulated. And then also big gulps. Hannity was saying, can we put the salt back on the tables in New York? And then what about big gulps, If somebody wants big gulps, then, shouldn't a person believe that they, if you want a big gulp, and you're an adult, shouldn't you be allowed to have a big gulp? And then Bill de Blasio said he believed in choice. Sean Hannity begins to clap. And then Bill de Blasio says he doesn't want to make it easy for fat kids to buy big gulps. So, it's not that he doesn't want big gulps to be served. It's just that fat kids, there's an obesity problem, so they keep on going, to these restaurants and then buying a 2-liter worth of soda and drinking all of it and 15 Big Macs. And so, essentially he was concerned about the obesity of children. Sean Hannity is going to ask about meatless Mondays in school. Meatless Mondays, hashtag Meatless Mondays. This is something that Bill de Blasio has been doing in the public schools, and Sean Hannity hates it. And but Bill de Blasio says that his students love it. Let New York City kids vote on their own menu. So Sean Hannity is going to pitch to Bill de Blasio, why don't you have McDonald's Monday and KFC Fridays and all this other shit, essentially, corporate fast food, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Bill de Blasio believes in pizza. That's when we're going to hear from Hannity that he likes cauliflower pizza. And then Mayor Bill de Blasio, I don't think he wins at the end because he says, do you want a bunch of kids deciding the fate of their own diet? He says, as a parent, I'm speaking as a parent, therefore he's going to impose his way. Now, if the choice is between, having a smart, educational, sort of smart, meatless Monday, so let's just try to figure out other ways to get our protein. So, that's fun. It's not that much fun, but it's, interesting and educational, but just having McDonald's and KFC and all these, big-ass corporations coming to their schools, that's, I don't know, in college, I don't mind, them actually serving, them being a part of the cafeteria, but I think that's the point, right, to introduce corporations into this equation. So Sean Hannity would have, offered some different thing. Maybe how about, meatless Mondays and then meatful Fridays, so it's just a bunch of meat on Friday. I don't know. So Bill de Blasio, rightfully says, no, we're not going to let McDonald's run the menu for the public school system of New York City. So he says as a parent, he's more for meatless Mondays than McDonald's Mondays. So he's going to impose his own way. But it would be, democracy if Bill de Blasio would actually have a student vote. Let the students vote on the menu that they want. So, let them splurge on Wednesday, but, ask I bet you they'll make good decisions. If you said, would you rather have this kind of food or would you like this kind of food? Then you could have the culinary arts like they do in France and just have, absolute gorgeous pâtés and, dishes and, ooh la la, Eiffel Tower. I don't know. So, okay. It was a fascinating conversation, the whole thing. I took a bunch of notes, and I enjoyed the conversation. You should check it out yourself. That was my take on it, essentially, though, that it was fair and balanced. It was fair and balanced. So Bill de Blasio did go too far, when it came to guns and abortion, but then Sean Hannity goes too far when it comes to climate change and global warming. And there's other questions, Sean Hannity, also his whole interviewer style, that he's the boss, only he gets to ask questions. Sean Hannity, why are you such a piece of shit? There's a question for you. Hey, Sean Hannity, why are you prick? So, an interview is a conversation. So, to monopolize the questions as if you're the prosecutor and this is a courtroom, this ain't a courtroom and you're not a prosecutor. If I don't like what the fuck you're saying, I'm just going to, never talk to you again. I gave you a chance, and here you're just going to try to, use me to increase your ratings. Why don't you actually stick to policy? So when Hannity was at his best when he stuck to policies. He was, kind of fun and playful. He said it wasn't that bad, but I bet he'd be a bigger dick. He did try to, fuck Bill de Blasio over in the middle by, there was some video footage. So I felt like he had a friend who got assaulted, and he wanted the mayor to say, yes, we will convict that person. So he was helping his friend out. some reason he was just trying to hit him on this, you know, the videotape. Everybody that's videotaped in an assault. Well, what about the police officers who are assaulted? Is that, you know, reckless endangerment of lives, or is that, they're okay. It's okay when they assault. So Bill de Blasio answered that question correctly, ignoring the video, just saying that no matter what, if you commit a crime, then we're going to convict you. And then he said, trust the New York Police Department. So that, you know, if he does have a friend that wants to get that conviction, all they got to do is just contact the New York Police Department and be like, hey, here's this video, you know, can you look into it? So Bill de Blasio was able to, you know, he's swinging around on the New York Police Department because he was trying to criticize the mayor for doing this, but Bill de Blasio says, no, that's on the police. So are you saying the police aren't doing their job? Is that what you're trying to say? And then Hannity had to back off. So Hannity was too far to the left on the police. Bill de Blasio was able to flank him on the right-hand side when it comes to the police, and then global warming, and then there's other questions with Sean Hannity. So this is a big win for America. This is a big win for Bill de Blasio. He got, you know, much more FaceTime, and he got to answer a lot more questions, more in depth. And he did, you know, both of them, I think, held their own in terms of, you know, their ideology and what they believe in. The conversation stayed respectful for the most part. But still, it's fucking Sean Hannity. You know, any of these, you know, broadcasters, they use people just for their ratings. So I'd be, you know, always skeptical before I walked into their fucking shows, because you never know, right? Get ambushed. Like, you know, he did ambush him with those videos, but it wasn't like a big ambush. It was kind of a little ambush. So, yeah, any other Democrats you go on Sean Hannity's show, just, you know, be careful. That motherfucker's tricky. So anyways, good conversation. That's actually what we need to do. We need to have good conversations between all the you know, everybody in the country. The divisiveness, this is Trump's whole thing has been to divide the fucking country. All he's done is for his base. He hasn't done shit for Democrats or liberals. He just keeps antagonizing Democrats and, you know, saying a bunch of racist shit. So that's not a president. We need someone that can bring everybody together. So Obama just kept begging the Republicans to work with him, and they wouldn't do it. Meanwhile, Trump's a fucking prick the whole time. So, yeah, hopefully Trump, I don't know, Boris Johnson, hopefully he listens to Boris Johnson and tries to unite the country, because he hasn't done shit for me. I have zero confidence in this president. But, I mean, he could have reformed the police. He could have ended the wars. He could have, you know, instituted universal health care and legalized marijuana. He could have solved homelessness, declared a war on poverty. There's a million things that he could have done that would have made me happy, but he didn't do anything. The Korea thing is the only decent thing that I could think of right now. Okay, so what? You almost ended the Korean War, which was, what, 60... We haven't done shit for 60 years, but it's almost over. So hopefully one day... But what about nukes? They still got all the nukes. Oh, okay, so fantastic. That just showed the whole world, if you go like North Korea, get your nukes, well, then we got to negotiate and talk to you. We can't just obliterate the shit out of you like we did in Iraq. So, yeah. Peace, America.